All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. We're going to uncover the invisible forces that literally power everything from the compass in your pocket to massive modern MRI machines. If you've ever been fascinated by the hidden rules governing our physical world, well, you're absolutely in the right place. So grab your mental notebooks. Today, we're going to channel our inner physics teacher to demystify one of the absolute cornerstones of electromagnetism.
To kick things off, I really want you to think about everyday electric motors, or even something as simple as a compass needle twitching when it's near a wire. Have you ever wondered how they actually produce that motion? I mean, think about it. Without any physical hands pushing or pulling, how does a spinning fan blade get its torque? That push, that invisible, magical-seeming force bridging the gap between electricity and physical movement, that is exactly what we are studying today.
Now, to wrap our heads around this, we first need to establish our baseline vocabulary. Enter the magnetic field. We usually represent this with the letter B. Basically, it's the region around a magnet or a current-carrying conductor where magnetic forces can actually be detected, and we measure it in a unit called the Tesla. Just think of the magnetic field as an invisible stage. Any magnetic material, or any moving electric charge that wanders onto this stage, well, it's going to feel a force for sure.
So here's our class syllabus for today's explainer. We'll start with the unseen forces around us, move on to the Biot-Savart Law itself, break down the math, look at how to avoid some common student mistakes, and finally, check out some really cool real-world applications.
All right, Section 1, Unseen Forces Around Us.
Okay, imagine dropping a stone into a perfectly calm pond. You see the ripples spread outward in all directions, right? Well, one of the most important discoveries in all of physics is that when an electric current flows through a wire, it creates a very similar invisible magnetic field that spreads outward in concentric rings right around the conductor. It's like a ripple effect. And here's the kicker. Without moving charges, there is zero magnetic field generated by the current. Electricity and magnetism, they are completely, inextricably intertwined.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Biot-Savart Law.
It's actually wild to look at the incredible domino effect that happened across the 1820s. It started with Danish physicist Hans Christian Ørsted. Get this, he literally just placed a compass near a current-carrying wire and watched the needle deflect. That single, almost accidental observation established the direct connection between electricity and magnetism. And that directly inspired our heroes of the day, French scientists Jean-Baptiste Biot and Flux to figure out the exact mathematical relationship. From there, their work paved the way for Ampere and later on, Maxwell to completely unify electricity and magnetism. Talk about a chain reaction.
To really grasp the concept behind the law that Biot and Savart formulated, I want you to think of a rainstorm. A single raindrop falling on your roof? Yeah, it has very little effect. But millions of raindrops happening all at once? That produces a heavy shower. The Biot-Savart law works the exact same way. It tells us how much magnetic field is created by just one tiny, microscopic segment of a current-carrying wire. By integrating or, adding up millions of those tiny current elements, we get the complete magnetic field around the entire conductor. It's like putting together a giant puzzle.
Let's dig into Section 3, breaking down the math.
Okay, let's open up our toolkits and start breaking down this math factor by factor. Instead of panicking over a giant, scary equation, let's just look at the logical chunks that actually determine the strength of our magnetic field. First up, the amount of current. More current simply means a stronger field. Easy, right? Second, the length of the current element. Longer elements contribute more. Also pretty intuitive. But pay close attention to distance. As you move further away from the conductor, that magnetic field drops off rapidly. And finally, there's the viewing angle. The field is actually at its absolute strongest when you're observing it directly perpendicular to the current.
So now we know the strength, but what about the direction? Well, I want you to literally hold up your right hand right now. Yeah, right now. Follow these steps with me. Imagine you're lightly holding the wire in your right hand. Now point your thumb in the exact direction the current is flowing, okay? Now look at your fingers. The way your fingers naturally curl around that imaginary wire, that shows you the exact circular direction of the magnetic field. It's a fantastic, foolproof trick that physicists use literally every single day.
And this perfectly illustrates how the kind of intimidating calculus of the full Biot-Savart law actually simplifies into incredibly clean formulas, all depending on the geometry of the wire. If you have an infinitely long straight wire, the formula simplifies down to mostly depend on just current and distance, using 2 pi r. But if you bend that exact same wire into a circular loop, the field at the very center drops the pi. It depends on just the current and twice the radius.
So the geometry of the conductor absolutely dictates the shape and the math of the magnetic field. Which brings us to Section 4, Avoiding Common Student Mistakes.
You know, even the brightest physics students fall into a few predictable traps here. A really huge pitfall is confusing the magnetic field with the magnetic force. I mean, it is so easy to mix up the letters B and F on a stressful exam. But remember our earlier analogy. The field is just the invisible arena. It's just the region in space where the potential for effects exists. The force, on the other hand, is the actual physical push or pull that a moving charge actually feels when it steps inside that arena. Field is the stage, force is the action.
Another massive trap is thinking this law is some kind of universal skeleton key that works everywhere. Spoiler alert, it's not. The reality is that the Biot-Savart law is strictly for steady, constant currents. It is fundamentally a law of magnetostatics. If you're dealing with alternating currents or rapidly changing electrical signals, well, the Biot-Savart law actually breaks down, and you have to upgrade your toolkit to the much more advanced Maxwell's equations.
All right, let's head into Section 5, Real-World Applications. Let's step out of the lecture hall for a second and look at our daily lives, because this exact math scales up to design almost every piece of modern technology you rely on. By precisely calculating the magnetic fields produced by current-carrying conductors, engineers can optimize the electric motors in your kitchen appliances. They design the wireless charger that's probably sitting on your nightstand right now. And they even shape the magnetic fields inside headphones so your music sounds pitch perfect. And hey, it even scales up to massive scientific endeavors, like guiding charge particles near the speed of light inside giant particle accelerators.
In fact, over in the medical field, using these exact principles, engineers carefully design the coils inside MRI machines. They have to map out the geometry so perfectly that it produces a highly uniform magnetic field. And get this, that field can be thousands of times stronger than the magnetic field of the Earth itself. That is what allows us to see incredibly detailed images of human tissue without ever making a single incision. It's basically a real-life superpower.
And speaking of the Earth, our own planet is utilizing these invisible forces on a literal planetary scale. Deep inside the Earth's core, moving electric currents generate a massive magnetic field. It acts exactly like the fields we've been calculating today, extending way out into space and acting as a vital magnetic shield. This invisible barrier keeps us safe from the sun's harsh, harmful solar radiation. Without it, we wouldn't be here.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. We've seen how moving charges create static magnetic fields, but what happens when those charges accelerate? How do these invisible forces interact and combine to create the rapidly oscillating electromagnetic waves that actually transmit Wi-Fi and the internet right to your smartphone? It's a wildly fascinating question, and honestly, the perfect stepping stone into the deeper mysteries of electromagnetism. Keep wondering, keep observing, and thank you so much for exploring with me today.